Okay, class, today we're going to talk about the surface area of triangular prisms. Now, just like with rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, what we're going to do is we're going to unfold the prism into a net. Okay, so the big difference between rectangular prisms and triangular prisms are the bases. In a rectangular prism, everything's rectangles. You just have 6 rectangles and you've got to figure out how it's done. With a triangular prism, what you're dealing with is you're dealing with 3 rectangles and 2 triangles, which actually makes it a little bit easier to do the net, because if you know anything about the sides of the triangle, you've just about got all of the only length that's not attached to the triangle is your height. So it actually makes measuring a little bit better. So whenever you're dealing with the net of a triangular prism, the way you're going to do it is you're going to have your 2 triangles and 3 rectangles between them. Okay? So we have an example to help us see how to draw our nets right here. So go ahead and find that and glue or tape it down. Okay, so let's look at number 1. So I know, so it's determine the surface area of the triangular prism by determining the area of the shape's net. Okay, so let's draw this thing. So like I told you, you're going to have 2 triangles. And then pretty much 3 rectangles. Did I say pretty much? You're going to have 3 rectangles. Okay, so now let's label this sucker. Well, I know that the sides of my triangle, all 3 sides are 1 centimeter. So I know this is 1 centimeter, and this is 1 centimeter. And if I know this is, and I know this is 1, and that's 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 1. Because they're all the same. And then my height is 2. Now, if you look at here, there are 2 heights when you're dealing with a triangular prism, and I should have drawn this a little bit bigger, because you also have the height of your triangle, which in this case is 0.8. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the area of our triangle. Now remember, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Well, I know my base is 1, my height is 0.8, and I'm going to take that and divide by 2. So let me look at this. I have 1 times 0.8 equals 0.8. Divide by 2 is 0.4. So I know that the area of both of my triangles is 0.4. So now let's look at my rectangles. Now in this case, my rectangles are all the same, which makes it a little bit easier. So I have 2 times 1. Remember, that's base times height, so I have 2 times 1, which is 2. So I know how many 0.4s do I have? Well, I have 2 triangles, so I have 0.4 plus 0.4. And how many of the 2's do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So 0.4 plus 0.4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives us 6.8. And that's centimeters, and we're talking about area, so it's squared. Okay, now it does get a little bit more complicated than that. Of course, when does it ever stay simple? When our rectangles are different. Next time I'll make sure to draw my net a little bit bigger where I can label it better. Okay, so I'm going to turn the page over. We're going to look at number 2. So go ahead and cut out number 2 and glue or tape it down. Okay, Lucia is covering a box with fabric. It is a triangular prism with the measurements as shown at the right. Determine the amount of fabric she needs to cover the lateral surface area. How much will it cost her if the fabric costs $2.50 per square yard? Okay, remember, lateral surface area we talked about last time was all sides but the top and the bottom. Well, in this case, the top and the bottom are going to be your triangles. So pretty much we've got to find out what the area of the 3 rectangles is. Anyway, so I'm going to draw my net. So I have my triangle, rectangle, triangle, and then I have my rectangles on the 2 sides. Now, I don't need my triangles in this because I'm dealing with lateral surface area, so I'm just going to kind of scribble those out. So, let's check this out. I know that my height is 1.5, so I know that the side of one of my triangles is 1 yard. Oh, well, they're all 1 yard. That makes it a little bit easier. That means these are 1, that means these are 1, and these are 1.5. Okay, so let's find out what this is. So 1.5 times 1 equals 1.5. How many of those do I have? I have 3, so I have 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 equals 4.5 yards squared. Now that's not my answer though, because it's asking how much will it cost her if it's $2.50 per square yard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this number, we're going to multiply it by $2.50. So I have 4.5 times 250 equals hang on a second. Technical difficulties. There you go. So how much would it cost her? It would cost her $11.25. Okay, so now let's look at number 3. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to have enough room, so I'm just going to scoot over here to another page. Go ahead and tape or glue it down. Okay, so a bakery boxes pie pieces in a triangular prism box as shown. Determine the amount of cardboard used to make a box for a slice of pizza. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our net. Okay, so I have the triangle. And those are really thin rectangles, so I'm going to make kind of a thin rectangle here. Then we have a couple of long ones. Okay. So now let's write what we know. Well, I can look here, I can see the height of my triangle is 12. So I know that's 12. So now let's look what the sides of my triangle are. Well, two of my sides are 12.5, which means the length of these rectangles are 12.5. And the height of my rectangle is 1. Remember, it's the same all the way across. So now I need to find the surface area, so I'm going to define the area of my triangles. So remember, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. My base, oh, what is my base? We didn't label that one. The base of my triangle is 7. So my base is 7. My height is 12. Take that and divide it by 2. 7 times 12 is 84. Divided by 2 is 42. Okay, so now I have these two rectangles, if you look, are the same. So 1 times 12.5. We can just call this A, B, C. So rectangles A, so would be 1 times 12.5 equals 12.5. Rectangle B would be 7 times 1, which is 7. And rectangle C would be 12.5 times 1, which is 12.5. So I have two triangles that are that size, so I have 42 plus 42. I have one triangle A, so it would be 12.5. The triangle B, which is 7, and triangle C, which is 12.5. Add all of those together and I get 116 inches squared. And that's it. Y'all have a great evening.